program development, is that, if we were to just focus on one thing, then all the other things would come into place. So keeping that in tune, we started to go one muscle group at a time. So the other day when I explained to you the deep squat, it was working on dorsiflexion first, it was working on knee flexion second, it was working on hip flexion third, then core strength, and then hamstring strength, right? It wasn't just putting you under a barbell, watching you squat all the way to the bottom like that guy right behind me, and then saying, get out, right? Not gonna happen. So the idea is that we focus on one exercise, one movement, one muscle group at a time, and we get better at it as we go from there. So with that being said, this led me to precision fitness, where we're being very precise with what we decide to train, and we're owning that for a certain amount of time, a month, 6 weeks, 90 days particularly, all the way up to a year, right? Now you probably don't need to work on one muscle group for 1 year, but you could work on the benefits of what that muscle group delivers next for a year. For example, when I'm getting into my handstands, right, I first noticed that I'm very weak up there. So first thing I had to work on was my fingers, right, getting finger strength. Second thing I had to work on was elbow lockout, getting enough support around my elbow. Third thing I had to work on was serratus, making sure that was strong enough. Fourth thing, shoulder blades, making sure those were supportive enough. Then I got to start getting into the movement of it, right? Well, I don't just need strength there. I need to be able to control it and motor control it and manipulate it when needed. If I fall off balance, how can I catch myself, right? That got me into shoulder mobility and stability, right? So again, I kept breaking down the cycles as I got better and better. So again, it wasn't necessarily that I was focusing on something for a year, but I was focusing on that movement until it led me to the next movement. And it was always just one at a time that got me there. Again, with this new program, I have about 10 different body points that I like to focus on with the general population, from their time sitting at the desk, driving in the car, sitting at the dinner table, so on and so forth. What are some of the areas that we're constantly seeing get weakened, atrophied, falling into less movement, less mobility control, and how can we fix that? How can we start to really regress to progress, but make it a lot more precise and specific to the individual? So that's my new program coming out. I'm getting really excited to launch it. Again, it goes in intervals of a month, 6 weeks, 90 days, really focusing on how we can make that one muscle, that one joint, that one movement as flawless as possible. So stay tuned. I'm definitely looking forward to sharing more with you guys. Thank you and take care.